Good morning, welcome back to the channel. It's actually Sunday morning. It's about 9:30 AM. I've come to the allotment. Don't know if you can see that on the camera. There's a layer of frost on top of this moo poo. So I've come to get a few barrow loads of this and put it into the allotment. I've brought my pump with me to pump the wheelbarrow tyre up. It's a frosty one here overnight. I had to scrape ice off my car this morning. When I got home on Friday, I'll insert a little clip. It was a hailstorm by the time I got home, so and it was another heavy frost yesterday morning, so I'll bring you back in a bit. So brought a pump with me, tyre pump, to pump the wheelbarrow tyre up a bit. I've made another bag of like rat bait. Noticed last night my local supermarket had some. Well, to be honest, it's actually cookie mix. It might be backfired on me this, because it's a chocolate chunk cookie mix, but there's a packet of cookie mix in there and a whole tub of bicarbonate of soda. So I'll give that one a whirl, see what the rats do with that. I suspect, unless I filter them out and nibble on them first, I suspect they'll go for the chocolate chips. Got my coffee with me, so just looking round. The ground, or the puddles, are actually frozen over still. It's about 2.5 degrees at the minute. It's warm in the sun. I just took the top off my fire thing there, so I might load that up with some of these raspberry canes and set that going while I'm barrowing. One mistake I make, which is really evident, I kind of block the straightest route through to get to with a wheelbarrow, so it's not easy slaloming between everything, so I'll have to find a route to get an easy path through with the wheelbarrow. Might shift some of that wood and pull that tub and that out of the way so I can get through there. I want to put like a barrow load, probably a barrow load in the top of the compost bin. So I stuck some cardboard and veg in on Friday when I was here. So that'll probably take a barrow load in the top of there. That ground felt pretty soft there when I stood over that. It must be full of mole tunnels. So I've done that before now. Stepped on the ground and went into my knee into a tunnel, or a rabbit tunnel. That where the moles dug, there's loads of little seedlings of some description coming up there. I'm not sure what they are. Amazing. You can sit for years and years, seed some of them until they germinate. So right, I'll get some air in my tyre and I'll make a bit of a path. Bring you back in a bit. Well, so much for that idea. It's got a humongous gash in it there, and the valve's disappeared. Whether it's been torn off or something, or eaten off, I don't know. So I think I'll just buy a whole new wheel for that. Or that wheel, there's a split in the leg there as well, so I don't know how much life is left in this wheelbarrow. But I have another wheelbarrow here, which I don't remember where it came from, if I'm honest. But that looks to have a solid tyre on it, so certainly for now I can use this one. I've got another wheelbarrow frame here, but this was left out by the gate. Somebody had abandoned it. Obviously there's no barrow bit in it, and so somehow there's some like rear legs missing off it where it would stand up. So that looks like a real heavy duty frame. Let's put the pump down. It's quite a heavy duty frame, and I've got a barrow bit there, the bucket part, which again I think somebody had put that in the skip at work, so I salvaged that. So what I might do is I'll get a wheel for it. I want some spare wheels anyway. I have like a bit of a barrow for fishing, or a fisherman's type barrow, and so I want to get some spare wheels. So I might have a go at reincarnating this one. Won't take much to weld a couple of outriggers on the bottom there so it stands up. I'll have a weigh up. Not a job for today, but at least with this one having a solid tyre, I don't have to worry about any punctures or anything. But for the life of me, I can't remember where that came from. Somebody must have abandoned it somewhere or given it me, but I'm afraid there was an elderly couple had a plot over opposite corner. They might have given me it when they left. I think they also the gentleman actually died a couple of years ago, and the lady gave up last season, and I acquired a hose reel there, so I'm wondering if she dropped that over the fence for me as well. I've not seen her since, so but, right, I'll move this compost and get this wheelbarrow out. Yeah, a bit rusty on the inside this, but it's okay for shifting rubbish around. I think what I'm going to do first, I'm going to clear the old last year's growth out of here, and then all these pots can be lifted out and I can start clearing the greenhouse. At least if I get this stuff out first, I could light my fire and that'll all burn out while I'm moving the moo poo. So I'll clear all these old tomato stems out, or what's left of them, first. I cleared the greenhouse of all the dead plants. They're all burning away outside now. There's a couple of bits hanging up there. I'll grab her. So just having a sit in the greenhouse for a minute, have a swig of my coffee, and got all them raspberry canes in there. They're all burning away. Burnt very fast, the grating fires, them things, especially when they're dry. So bring you back in a bit. So I moved that wood, cleared a bit of a path. I got one barrel load of manure and I've put it into the compost bin. I'll insert a picture. So I'm pretty much filled it to the top now, so that'll take a couple of weeks to start moving again once the weather picks up. I filled 2 containers with this cookie mix. I nibbled on a couple of them chocolate chips myself, but it's a bit weird. They're like fizzy now because they've all bicarb around them. Fizzy chocolate chips. Another new invention. So just going to put my tools away, take my pump back home, and I'm going to call it a day. I do need to get in my back garden at home though and try and plant them elephant garlic, so I might bring you back from home in a bit. Cheers now. Welcome back. I'm still Sunday. It's about, what time is it? 5:30. I've only just made it into my garden at home. Sunday's kind of a chores day, for want of a better description, as well. Laundry and bins emptied and stuff like that, so done those kind of things. I thought I'd just come out, have a look in the greenhouse. These are all them little bulbs and things I planted last week. A little moth there or something. So one or two poking through all them little bulbs that were sort of from last year's, from the allotment. They've all come through, and there's a bunch there. And I think that rosemary's pulling through as well. That had dried up a little bit, so they're all doing okay. The elephant garlic bulbules, none of them look like they've pumped through, but we went from warm to having a few days of frost. Also looks like there's a little bit of mould or something appeared on the top of the pots. You quite often get that with new compost, I don't know why, but I was hoping these would have all shooted and had dried out somewhat, but they're still, I'm not going to put any more water on, they're already pretty damp. The lemon balm looks okay. I bought them as just part of my general sort of research for useful stroke medicinal plants, and apparently you can make a tea out of the leaves of these things, which can be quite calming, help you sleep, stuff like that. Fortunately I managed to snap the top off that one as I was transplanting it, but it should still grow from the side shoot and stuff from the bottom. This one's okay. So once they get a bit more established, they'll be hardy. They'll just live outside in a large pot all year. So I was kind of hoping some more of them would have poked through, especially the ones that had already started germinating. I mean, that one's got a stalk on it, but some of them had already, I think I had 6 that had already shooted, so they're just carrying on. Is that one? There's one there as well. So I won't disturb them. The 6 I had that were in the house that had the little shoots, I'd actually had them in the fridge for several weeks because they just didn't germinate at the same time as the last ones over Christmas. So sometimes some of these bulbs need a cold spell to trigger them. So I actually had that tray of 6 in the fridge for about a month, then I pulled it back out and very slowly they started germinating. So with any luck, this cold patch we're going through at the minute, and right now in the greenhouse it's at about 8 degrees C, 48 Fahrenheit, so it is quite cold. And last couple of nights it's gone below freezing. This morning and yesterday morning I had to scrape ice off my car, so which reminds me I best put my windscreen frost shield thing on tonight, otherwise I'll be doing it in the morning. So I just wanted to have a look at these. The garlic bulbs I had last week, sorry, the garlic cloves that were from bought garlic, I did actually clear a little area and put them in last Sunday, I think it was. But nothing's come through yet. I was hoping I'd have had some good garlic from over winter, but none of these have done anything. I could have sworn there was some there that had bulbs on them, but unless I pulled them and ate them. I just kind of cleared the front half of this bed a bit and pushed them cloves in. Now these are ones that I'd put in late last year that you can see poking through there, but there's quite a few garlic cloves in this front half. I will clear the back half and get the elephant garlic in there. Good afternoon, it's Monday afternoon. I've called after work. Probably got an hour, maybe an hour and a half of light before the sun sets. So looks like the rats have they've been back and had some more of the blue grain, and they've had a sift through that cookie mix I put down. I think they just pulled the chocolate chips out. So I think rather than put any more in just yet, I'd left the stuff in my car, so if I put it in the shed they just eat through the bag. I'm going to take it home and sift out the chocolate chips, I think, and then I'll stick a couple of tablespoons of drinking chocolate powder in or something like that. Then that might encourage them, they'll have the chocolatey taste in it then, that might encourage them to eat the stuff with the bicarb and that as well. But they're certainly been having a rummage in it anyway. So I think my plan for tonight is I'm just going to try and clean out around the gateway into the place. It's just thick mud and sludge at the minute. So when I originally put that gate in, when I had the full allotment, I set a flagstone in at the base of it, so that should still be down there. So I want to at least scrape that clean. I might even lift that up, so and just put the road shavings down there, so it'll be more of a drain rather than the base to a little pool kind of thing. So I'm going to get some tools out and go and have a mess, see what I can clear. I shall bring you back shortly. So I've lifted that flagstone out, 2x2 flagstone, which obviously was in there. You can just about see the square imprint. I'm going to just backfill this now with some of that road shavings, so it'll be a hard surface to stand on and come in and out, fill the gap at the back, but it'll also drain as well, whereas that just sort of acted like the base of a pool. So I'll go and get some road shavings and start filling this in. Coming up on 5:30 now. Sun's not quite set yet. I just wanted to do a panoramic, well, not a panoramic, but look at the colours there. It's like autumn colours almost, with the sun setting on the trees. Isn't that gorgeous? I've 3 barrel loads in so far, and I've got just another probably 3/4 barrel there, so I just want to put a bit more in at the front edge there. I think we'll be in pretty good stead then. So I'll get this last load in. Of course, there's a plane in the background. I left the cover off this yesterday in case the fire was still smoking a little bit, in case it came back up, but it didn't, so I'll cover that. I've finished up there now. I shall feel that tomorrow. Well, I won't, but a little bit out of breath doing that. I understand now why people with desk jobs and quite often have gym memberships. I'm so out of shape, it's not even funny. I've gone from like a hands-on physical job working with metal to sitting at a desk for the last well, I don't know, 14-15 months, and I've lost so much muscle mass, it's unbelievable. So I used to quite enjoy cycling, but I can't do that with my knees as they are. Sit down in a dodgy chair that'll probably fall apart. Been in the sunlight for a couple of years. Sorry, phone case getting in the way there. So some rather nice red skies there, but I think I didn't notice it, but I think it's spitting with rain now. So what time is it now? Sorry, you're getting a nice shot of my sleeve there. Just gone, well, it's 25 to 6. So sit here for a bit, gather my thoughts, drink my coffee. I don't know if you can see the silhouette in the tree. There's a, let's see if we can zoom in. Just about centre of the picture. There's a couple of crows sat in that tree. So it won't be long now before the sun drops below the horizon. Bit dark blue and grey over there, so looks like some rain is coming in. Might have just got that done in time. Hopefully any water that goes in that area now will just drain right through. I was calling that road shavings before. I thought it was road shavings, you know, when they take a layer off the tarmac and they're relaying a road surface. But I don't think it is. We've had road shavings before, but that looked like something called crush and run, which is a mixture of various grades of sort of grey stone, and the idea is you'd put that in and then go over it with like a whacker plate or a heavy roller and impact it into the ground. So I put like 4 barrel loads on there for now, or just under 4. So that'll settle a bit as we go in and out, but it's certainly a lot easier to get past with a wheelbarrow now. 2 crows have taken flight. Do get the odd bird of prey hovering around. There used to be a couple of buzzards lived in that forest, so it's quite funny when they appeared. The sort of pigeons had all dived for cover, and occasionally there'd be a kestrel or something like that, a sparrowhawk or a kestrel, a bird of prey. So everything hides when they come out. Can be quite peaceful here, but equally there can be a lot of noise at times. So I'll show you a quick view of the gateway as I leave in a bit. I'm just going to sit here for a while now and drink my coffee, let it get to about 6 o'clock before I leave. Then the traffic should have died down. I'll bring you back shortly. Camera doesn't really show it well, but it's actually really dark here now. The sun has dropped below the horizon, and it's gone quite cold now. So I didn't refill any of them, so that's that thingy mix for the rats. So I'll sieve it, or put it through a sieve and get the chocolate chips out. And I have some well, it's like a reduced calorie drinking chocolate I buy. I think it tastes better than the one full of sugar, to be honest. And I don't add sugar to stuff anyway, but it has a much richer flavour. So I'll stick a bit of that chocolate powder in there, and that might trick the rats into thinking it's all chocolatey. So I'm gonna head home now. It's about 5 to 6, so traffic should have died down a fair bit. So this is the sort of gateway now. So on a bit on this side, so it's a bit easier to get in and out. I was finding, because of this slope on here, as soon as you try and there's a bit of a gradient there, that from where my right foot is to my left foot's probably a 5 or 6 inch drop in gradient. Doesn't show it. So a couple of times you sort of put a foot on the edge and sort of slid down. So might have to just raise that piece of wood and try and build it up a little bit more, so nothing can get under the gate, as mice or rats, well, you'll never stop them anyway, but a rabbit won't be able to get through there, but mouse or rat would. Saying that, a rabbit could probably jump that anyway. Right, thanks for watching. I'm going to head home now. I'll catch you next time. Cheers now. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's Monday evening. I just pulled up, and I've mentioned before a little area where people leave things in the car park. So someone had left a bit of a sad looking rhubarb cutting. It's dried up a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. When I give up the front half of the allotment, just see it on the other side of that shed, I gave up my sort of rhubarb. So I might stick one of them in the tyres with some of these buckets from the tomatoes just for the time being, and I'll transplant it later just to get it going again. I've brought a bag of veg peelings, so I'll get them in the compost. Just having a quick look in the greenhouse. Something's obviously been going through them pots that I'd put the chocolatey cookie mix in, so hopefully they've munched on some of that as they've gone through it. There's a few of these buckets I can use just to tip out into, start filling a tyre, give that rhubarb something to grow in. Might stick a bit of manure in the bottom, go and get a barrel full of manure, stick that in. I took a still picture when I put this manure in here. Yeah, I reckon that's probably dropped about an inch, so that manure will be adding a bit of heat and stuff as well. But I'll stick some them vegetable peelings in on the top of that. But I'll dig my muck fork out and go and get another barrel load, get my gloves out. So I'll sort a few bits and bobs out and I shall bring you back shortly. Had a slight change of plan. It started spitting with rain. I think there's some heavy showers coming in tonight, so I'm going to leave that rhubarb sat in that puddle. It needs a bit of a soak anyway. What I've done in the end, I've just scraped, still a bit to do, but that's actually a comfrey coming back through. That's another comfrey coming back through, centre of the picture. And I scraped a lot more of the dead bits out from these raspberry canes. Still some more to break out and snap off. They are dead. I've filled the incinerator again. It's full to the top more or less now, so at least if it does rain, that'll all be drying nicely in there. It's about 5:45 now. Gone extremely miserable and overcast, really grey. So we're not that far, 15-20 minutes from sunset. So I'll just rake a bit more of this stuff up, and I'll bring you back before I go. I think that'll do me for this evening. Got a few more bits piled up there to get in the incinerator. It's pretty full at the minute, so that'll as that dries out in the incinerator, it'll drop in height a little bit. I was just sort of finishing my coffee off, sat on the chair there, and that end of that pipe that stuck out horizontally to the right, I'm sure a little bird flew in the end of there. If it has, it's a bit, I hope it's not nesting in there. Good place to hide perhaps, or go looking for bugs, I guess. But I think if it builds a nest in there, there'd just be like a bunch of eggs in a row. It'd be very hard to sit on them, and I think the birds would struggle to get back out. They won't have any sort of room to flap the wings, and I've seen one or two daft places birds have nest. One of them was a traffic cone, and the mother and father could go in the hole in the top and drop to the floor, had all the eggs, but none of the actual birds, in learning to fly, they had to jump literally 2 foot in the air to get out before they could fly. When I actually noticed the parents sort of hanging around chirping at the top, I went over and had a look inside, and there was already a few dead chicks in the cone. But I sort of lifted the cone up, and the other ones then that were still alive sort of scarpered and took to flight. So not all of them were lost, but they don't always think, some of these little birds. I realise they're hiding from predators and things. But I had an old pot-belly stove in my back garden that I used to have in an old wooden greenhouse to heat it up, and they'd sort of dropped inside that down the bit of chimney flue and nested in what was left of some sort of burnt out bits of wood inside. But again, none of the actual chicks could climb out. They'd have to jump in the air to get out, and unfortunately I didn't notice that till it was too late. But I sort of put a cover on it then so nothing else could get in. So sunset's well and truly happened. It's hiding in the clouds somewhere. Pretty dark now, so I'll put my gear away, and I shall wrap up. Weather permitting, I'll call again tomorrow night. So I'm just going to leave that rhubarb in there. It'll soak up some of the moisture in that puddle. Should be okay there for a day or two. Then I'll try and make a proper space for it. I was contemplating planting it in the top of the molehill temporarily, but ideally I want to try and get this patch sort of levelled off and put that frame that the wood's leaning to on here. Then I can put a cover on it, and it's a sort of a second, although a polytunnel, but a second greenhouse. That said, I need to shift this and repair this timber first. So I've already asked a friend of mine to come and give me a hand one Saturday morning. I don't think the greenhouse, because it's polycarbonate and not glass, I don't think it'll weigh a tremendous amount. I think it's better just 2 people pick it up. Even if you sort of pivot it and lean it over on its side to one side, then it can replace that wooden frame underneath. So I'll need to do that really first before I think about moving that other frame. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up for this evening. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. I've this patch I had the tyres down. I've actually picked the sheet up and turned it round. You can't see it there. I put a cut in it to wrap around that black currant. It's just quite interesting looking underneath. All the little ruts, and this is mice and stuff. Digging little channels just under the plastic sheet, little miniature game trails kind of thing, where they've just cleared paths to run around underneath. So I'm just going to level some of these bumps out a bit now, but you can see just in the few months since, well, 2 months really, in January and February, since I put these sheets down, it's already a lot of like just soil kind of thing, where it's already started killing the moss and the top growth back. So I say I'm going to level these out, and I might put a third sheet in this gap until I sort of turn or rearrange that one. So I'll get on with that now. So this first sheet I've actually rotated it 90 degrees. I think they're a little bit more rectangular than square, so it's kind of covered the ground a little bit better front to back. Put a bit of a cut out around that black currant. Got these two tyres, this one and that one, fairly level now. I've pulled another piece of sheet out. I've only unfolded half of it so far. I put a couple of tyres on to hold it down. I will probably, I'm reluctant to cut. I might see if there's a smaller piece. I don't mind putting a little cut in it, but I'll be cutting halfway through the sheet for that one, but we'll see how we go. Obviously I want to go around the that gooseberry, and that'll probably unfold almost to that other tyre, and that'll allow me to rearrange them other two and cover that ground. I'm not sure how many bits of sheet I've got left there. I'll have to have a weigh up and disperse them appropriately. When I move that polytunnel frame, I would like that to be over the sheet so it's sort of clean and easy to hose down inside, kind of thing. I'll probably just grow stuff in the buckets or something inside that are easy to lift out. And I tend to, like last year's tomato buckets I used to top up the tyres, they always seem to drop down every year. But the same with me raised beds at home, everything just sort of settles, and so I use the buckets each year to top that up. But obviously I'm hoping to go hydroponic in this greenhouse for this growing season. I was just been watching a couple of the timers and had them in my basket on Amazon, and all of a sudden, it's amazing, all of a sudden they become not available and the next one's about 10 quid dearer. So I found a couple more anyway. Just got to make sure they're the 12 volt ones. Some people are advertising them as 12 volt, but they're actually mains voltage, 240 volt AC for us, so they wouldn't be any good. So anyway, it's gone 6:15. It's actually quite dark and quite cold here now, so I'm guessing there'll be a frost again tonight. There was one last night. So put my tools away, I've locked the shed, shut the greenhouse. I'm gonna head home. Thanks for watching, and perhaps catch you again tomorrow night. Cheers.